Have you ever wondered who the most powerful Greek gods were? Those who were worshipped even among the gods themselves. Today we will reveal their great feats and powers, which led them to be feared both on earth and in the heavens themselves. Number 8. Hermes, the cunning and versatile messenger god, possessed unrivaled charm and dazzling intelligence on Olympus. His powers were intrinsically linked to communication and speed, making him the messenger of the gods and the patron saint of travelers and merchants. With his wings on his heels and his winged hat, Hermes could move quickly between the divine realms and the mortal world. His exploits were varied and exciting. Hermes played a crucial role in Greek mythology, from the birth of the powerful god of thunder, Zeus, to his involvement in capturing and imprisoning the 100 eyes of the giant Argos. His cunning and skill at deception allowed him to perform daring acts and evade any obstacle that stood in his way. In addition to his abilities as a messenger, Hermes was also a versatile god with a wide range of talents. He was an accomplished thief and an expert at deception, capable of manipulating others through his eloquence and charm. His skill as a musician and poet was also unparalleled, and he was credited with the invention of the lyre and the flute. Hermes also had his part in the battles of the gods. Although his peaceful nature kept him away from direct conflicts, he often acted as a mediator in disputes and disagreements. His intelligence and ability to find quick solutions made him a valuable ally for the Olympian gods in crisis situations. Hermes, with his unparalleled agility and wit, left a lasting mark on Olympus and Greek mythology. He was the link between gods and mortals, the bearer of messages and the guardian of the paths. His role as a go-between and his ability to move quickly and skillfully in all areas of life made him a fascinating and essential god in ancient Greece. Number 7. Hera, the imposing and majestic goddess of Olympus, embodied beauty and authority in each of her gestures. As queen of the gods and goddess of marriage and family, Hera displayed impressive power and influence unparalleled in the Greek pantheon. Hera's powers spanned a wide range of domains. As the goddess of marriage, she had the ability to bless unions and guarantee marital fidelity. His penetrating gaze allowed him to detect deception and infidelity, and it was said that he fiercely punished those who violated the bonds of marriage. Hera also possessed exceptional intelligence and cunning, allowing her to plan and execute brilliant strategies to defend the sacrament of marriage. Hera's exploits and battles left their mark on Greek mythology. His most famous confrontation was against Hercules, the illegitimate son of Zeus and one of the most heroic figures of ancient Greece. Hera unleashed her wrath on Hercules on multiple occasions, sending monsters and deadly obstacles his way to test his mettle. However, despite the challenges, Hercules managed to overcome them and ultimately gain Hera's favor at the end of his life. Hera also played a prominent role in the gods' war against the giants, where her commanding presence and influence were respected. As one of the most powerful deities, she was feared on the battlefield and her aura instilled courage in the hearts of allied gods. In addition to her role in marriage and battle, Hera was also associated with fertility and the protection of women and children. He was credited with supervising the healthy growth of children and caring for women during pregnancy and childbirth. His influence on Olympus and Greek mythology recalled the importance of stability and fidelity in human relationships, and his imposing presence continued to be revered as a symbol of power and authority. Number 6. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and military strategy, exuded intellectual strength and cunning unmatched on Olympus. Her beauty and grace were matched by her mental acuity and profound wisdom. Athena stood out as the patron saint of craftsmen and the arts, and her influence extended from military strategy to weaving and architecture. Athena's powers were diverse and powerful. He possessed exceptional intelligence and wisdom, allowing him to anticipate and solve problems with ease. She was an expert in the art of war, and her shield, the Aegis, was said to be invulnerable and instill fear in her enemies. Furthermore, her ability to transform into different forms and her control over natural forces made her a formidable goddess. His exploits and battles were emblematic of his bravery and leadership. He participated in the Gigantomachy, the war between the Olympian gods and the giants, where he displayed his tactical ingenuity and his ability to direct divine forces to victory. Athena also fought alongside Greek heroes in the Trojan War, providing strategies and divine protection to the combatants. One of Athena's best-known feats was her role in the creation of the city of Athens. She competed with Poseidon for the patronage of the city, and both presented gifts to impress the citizens. Athena planted a sacred olive tree, a symbol of peace and prosperity, on the Acropolis, while Poseidon made a spring of salt water spring up. The jury chose Athena's gift, and the city was named in her honor. Athena, with her wisdom and skill in war, personified the balance between strength and intelligence. She was a goddess revered for both her mental acuity and her courage on the battlefield. Its presence on Olympus and in Greek mythology reminds us of the importance of strategy, wisdom, and ingenuity in the pursuit of success and protection. Number 5. Aries, the fierce and fearsome god of war, personified violence and destruction on Olympus. His powers were rooted in chaos and brutality, making him a formidable and bloodthirsty warrior. Armed with his sword and shield, Ares rushed into the heat of battle, fanning the fire of war with his presence. His exploits on the battlefield were legendary. Ares participated in numerous wars and conflicts, leading armies and spreading terror among his enemies. His ferocity was unmatched, and his bloodlust seemed insatiable. However, although Ares enjoyed violence and destruction, his tactical skills and prowess as a strategist were not as admirable as his combat powers. Ares faced many worthy opponents on the battlefield, his most famous confrontation being his participation in the Trojan War, where he supported the Trojan side led by Hector. Although Ares fought bravely and fiercely, he was defeated on several occasions by Greek heroes, such as Diomedes and Athena. His arrogance and desire to shed blood led him to suffer significant setbacks in the contest. Despite his violent characteristics, Ares was also considered a protective god of cities and military communities. He was invoked by those who sought his favor in war, and sacrifices were offered to him to obtain his support in combat. However, his influence was mainly limited to the sphere of war, and his role in Greek society and mythology was less prominent compared to other gods. Ares, the god of war, left a legacy of violence and brutality on Olympus. His bloodlust and love of battle earned him a prominent place in the pantheon of Greek gods. Although his role in mythology is controversial and his explosive temperament caused him more defeats than victories, his presence in war and fighting continues to remind us of the dual nature of conflict, both destroyer and forger of new paths. Number 4. Apollo, the radiant god of the sun and music, radiated incomparable beauty and divine grace. His presence illuminated Olympus and filled the world with his splendor. Apollo was the master of many disciplines, from music and poetry to prophecy and medicine. His skill with the bow and arrow was legendary, and his hunting prowess was unmatched. His powers were equally impressive. As god of the sun, Apollo controlled the light and heat that illuminated the earth. He also had the gift of prophecy and was often consulted to know the future. He was capable of healing illnesses and injuries, and his skill as a doctor was unmatched. Furthermore, their music and singing had the power to calm wild beasts and touch the hearts of gods and mortals. Apollo's exploits were varied and full of greatness. He participated in the Gigantomachy, the war of the Olympian gods against the giants, where he unleashed his wrath in the form of arrows that crossed the sky and defeated the enemies. He also challenged the god of rivers, Thames, in a musical competition and defeated him with his charming melody. Another of his feats was killing the python snake, a fearsome monster that terrified people, thus demonstrating his bravery and skill in hunting. But beyond his physical abilities, Apollo was the god of harmony and balance. Her beauty and grace were admired by all, and her influence extended to all forms of art and culture. He inspired poets, musicians, and artists with his radiant presence, and his oracle at Delphi was consulted by those seeking wisdom and advice. Apollo, the god of the sun and music, left an indelible mark on the divine and mortal world. His presence illuminated Olympus, and his music filled the hearts of those who heard it. His legacy as a god of beauty and harmony lives on, reminding us of the importance of finding light in the midst of darkness and inspiration in creativity. Number 3. Hades, the enigmatic god of the underworld, ruled over the realm of the dead with an imposing and shadowy presence. In contrast to his brothers Zeus and Poseidon, Hades preferred the dark, silent depths of his domain. He had a powerful helmet that gave him invisibility and allowed him to move between the living and the dead with total discretion. Hades' powers were unique and terrifying. He had the power to control the souls of the deceased and dictate their fate in the realm of the dead. Furthermore, he could summon shadows and create dark illusions. These abilities made him feared by gods and mortals alike. Although Hades preferred the solitude and tranquility of his kingdom, he also participated in momentous events. One of his most notable feats was his participation in the Titanomachy, the war between the Olympian gods and the Titans. Hades joined his brothers Zeus and Poseidon to defeat the Titans and secure the reign of the Olympian gods. Together, the three brothers achieved victory and divided the cosmos into three domains: the sky, the sea, and the underworld. Hades also played a crucial role in the myth of Orpheus and Eurydice. When Eurydice died, her beloved Orpheus descended into the underworld to beg Hades to bring her back to life. With his heart moved, Hades agreed, but with one condition: Orpheus must walk in front of Eurydice without looking back until they were both in the world of the living. Unfortunately, Orpheus could not resist the temptation and turned his gaze, thus losing Eurydice forever. Hades, with his dark and mysterious realm, personified the inevitability of death and destiny. He was an enigmatic and powerful god, whose name evoked both fear and respect. His influence on the world of gods and mortals was deep and lasting, constantly reminding us of the fragility of life and the importance of facing destiny with courage. Number 2. Poseidon, the powerful god of the sea and earthquakes, reigned majestically over the vast oceans. His imposing figure and his trident, a symbol of his dominance, inspired fear and respect in all divine and mortal beings alike. Poseidon possessed unparalleled power over the waters, from the calm surfaces to the most abysmal depths. With a single swing of his trident, he could unleash fierce storms and create giant waves that shook the land and sea. His legendary exploits established him as a formidable god. Among his most notable is his participation in the construction of the city of Troy, where he erected the imposing walls of the city with the help of the gods. However, his role in the Trojan War was even more relevant. Poseidon sided with the Greeks and unleashed his fury on the Trojans, wreaking havoc on their defense. His feud with the Trojan king Laomedon led the city to face the tragic fate it was destined to suffer. But Poseidon's exploits were not limited to Troy. Its influence spread throughout the known world, protecting sailors and sailors. He was invoked by those who sought his favor in sea voyages and sea trades. However, his choleric temperament and penchant for revenge meant that his anger was also directed towards those who challenged his authority or disturbed the tranquility of the waters. Poseidon, with his dominion over the oceans and his ability to cause earthquakes, was a god revered and feared in equal measure. His anger could bring chaos and destruction, but he was also a powerful and brave protector when properly respected and honored. His trident and imposing presence in the seas made it clear that challenging Poseidon was a dangerous feat that only the bravest or most foolish would attempt. Number 1. Zeus, the formidable king of the Olympian gods, embodied divine might and celestial majesty. With his imposing figure and his resounding thunder, he commanded respect and admiration in all corners of the cosmos. His supernatural powers were unmatched, the ability to cast lightning, control the weather, and cause merciless storms. Zeus was the guardian of order and justice, and his wrath was feared even by the gods. His legendary exploits left an indelible mark on divine history. The most notable was his epic against his father, the ruthless Cronus, and the Titans in the Titanomachy, a colossal battle that decided the fate of the Olympian gods. Zeus led his brothers and sisters, freeing them from the oppressive rule of Cronus and securing his reign on Mount Olympus. His victory enshrined his position as the supreme ruler and holder of the heavenly throne. However, Zeus's exploits were not limited to his warlike prowess alone. His reputation also extended to his tireless pursuit of affairs with mortals and goddesses alike, generating intrigue and conflict. His undeniable charisma and irresistible charm allowed him to conquer the hearts of countless lovers throughout the ages. As the god of justice, Zeus acted as the divine judge in the affairs of gods and mortals. He carefully observed the actions of human beings, rewarding virtue and punishing insolence. His wisdom and knowledge were profound and encompassed all facets of divine and earthly existence. Zeus was the supreme protector of cosmic order and divine balance. His power and authority were unquestionable. His throne on Mount Olympus was the symbol of his dominion and his eternal reign. No one dared defy the wrath of Zeus, for his relentless thunder and unwavering justice ensured that the divine and mortal world remained in harmony, under his watchful eye. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe to the channel, so we can bring you more of history's finest tops, from around the world.